everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to use a couple of new products that I bought in the Beautylish $20 gift card event, something like that it is named. And I got the products that I ordered from them. I bought the last palette from Goss and I didn't have bronzers and I really was interested in it, so I ordered also the bronzer and this Hyaluronic Hydra powder from Terry, and I really want to just try it. So I'm just going to do my complexion stuff first, but then come back again every time that I'm going to use something of the new stuff that I got. I have done mostly my base and now I'm gonna set my complexion. As I said, I bought this powder from Terry. This comes, I think, in four more shades, and also it comes in a pressed form. I chose the loose one, firstly because it was the first one that it launched, and this is what spiked my curiosity, and secondly because I don't travel with makeup, so for me being in a press version is not gonna give me much of nothing. As I said, I don't travel with makeup, so I don't think that I need a press version of something. And I wanted to try, I really wanted to try the loose one before the press, if I like the loose, as in maybe I can go for the press. So I just coat a little bit of my brush here and I'm going to set my concealer. Let me check for any creasing that it may have developed in the waiting time. There. It is very fine and milled, so that's why you saw all that dust. Just that little bit, I set my concealer. This is one side set, and this other side it isn't set yet. And then let's see. I just see a set under eye. I don't see much of a difference, to be pretty honest. I don't see why the raving, to be pretty honest. Things that I like so far, it doesn't change the color of my concealer. It didn't add any more, let's just say, coverage. So in that manner, it is good. It really did mattify. I'm gonna use this to set the rest of my complexion. I use the Shiseido Synchro Skin Self-Refreshing Foundation. I really like that foundation. And for concealer, I use the Rose Ink one. I am in love with that concealer. I don't know why. So far so good. I have set my entire complexion with just a little bit of that powder. For bronzer, I'm gonna go with the Goss one. This is not a new product, but it is a new one for me. This is the Radiance Boosting Face Palette. I chose it in Satin Bronze, regular Goss packaging. It has a mirror to one side, and this is the actual product. This is the matte one, and this is the satin one. I'm gonna start with the matte one, and I think I'm gonna stick to that one, as in maybe when I do my buffing, I could, yeah, I think I could use the other one. So I'm using my Aesthetica P12 and I'm going to apply it. I should have not set my complexion just to see how this performs on top of a creamy surface. I really messed up there. I should have, but I really forgot about it. But yeah, so far it is a soft, really soft press, because just by pressing the brush into the pan, it has a little bit of kick up, so have that in mind. And I'm just, here I applied it in a circular motion, and in my left side I'm doing pressing motions. It is really soft. It's not subtle, but it gives you the impression of softness in your skin. And if I'm going to be really honest, I think that it blurs a little bit, because in this area here I don't have any bronzer and I still can see my pores, but in this area here where I apply it, I don't see my pores. This formula is extremely forgiving and it does a great job. So soft. It is kind of weird to describe it, but it gives the skin a softness that I didn't have. This is so far a really amazing product. Wow. And the tone, it is more neutral than warm. So you can use it also as a contour shade because it has this a little bit of an ashy undertone that does look good. Now we're gonna go for the eyeshadow palette. This is the last launch. This is a new product. This is the Luxury Eye Palette in the shade Tourmaline. It doesn't have any names for the shades. It goes from 1 towards the number 6. Again, with the same packaging, really sleek, really clean. And this is the color story. I'm gonna use this one as a blush with a really light hand, and I'm gonna use this one as a highlighting shade. I'm gonna use this in Luxie 660. This is a precision foundation brush, and I'm gonna go to the shade number 5. I'm going to lightly apply it in this area here of my cheek. And this is the shade that we got so far. I really have to work with the blending part. I really like that shade, and I like the kind of luminosity that I have in my skin. I use as a primer the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enrich Face Base, and the foundation that I use, it has a natural finish. Also, it helps with the little bit of luminosity that I have in my skin. Now I'm gonna go for the shade that I chose for highlighting, which is the number 1. And I'm going to apply it in the highest point of my cheekbone. And what I have left over, I'm going to apply it on top of my eyebrows. It is such a nice, subtle sheen. This is the shade that we are working with. I'm going to do my eyebrows now, and then we're going to come back to use the palette. Now we're going to go for the eyeshadow palette. I have already prepped my lids. I use the Milani eyeshadow primer, and now we're going to use this beauty. I think I'm going to do a halo look. So mainly a halo look, it is darkness in the corner of your eye and lightness in the middle of your, let's just say a little bit of mobile lid, but now we work it a little bit higher than mobile lid. So let me just pick a brush that will help me get that application going on. I'm going to use this Linda Halber 303 brush. I'm going to use the shade number 5, which is the same one that I use as a blush. Start first in my inner corner. So far, just a little bit of fallout there, but I think it was mainly my fault. And now I'm going to do the outer corners. I'm going to do it with my eyes open to make sure that I lift my eye a little bit with the application, because I have downturned eyes, and if I want to flatter or help flatter my eye shape, I need to do or apply my eyeshadow in a lifting manner. Something like that. Now I'm going to switch brushes as I said, and I'm going to apply the same shade to my inner corner and outer corner. Really, really close to my lash line. My inner corner now. Now I'm going to switch brushes, and I'm going to use this Luxie 205 taper blending brush to soften the edges a little bit of what I have done. Soft circular motions around the border of the eyeshadow. This is a clean brush. I didn't take any eyeshadow from the pan. And repeating the process all over the border. Now that we have the shade mainly done, we are gonna go to the light spot on the center, and I'm gonna go, let me just swatch these shades to see how am I going to, I'm gonna use these 3 shades. It's shade number 1, which is the same one that I use as a highlighter, shade number 2, and shade number 6. So let's just start with shade number 2, which is that brown, kind of light taupey shade. And I'm gonna press it in where the first shade finished, going towards the center of my mobile lead, there. This one could be an all over shade in a regular basis. I'm gonna go to shade number 1, the same one that I use as a highlighter. And I'm gonna press this one in the center. And I'm gonna use shade number 2, which was the first one that I applied, the light taupe shade. And I'm going to apply it in the center of my bottom lashes, going a little bit lower. There. I'm gonna use my finger, actually my ring finger, to apply the celestial shade on top of both shade number 1 and number 2, and I'm gonna let it go all over a little bit towards my brow bone. Now I'm going to intensify a little bit my outer corners, and I'm gonna go with the same 303 brush, the one that I used to apply shade number 5, but instead I'm gonna go to shade number 3. Only going to be applied, or I'm going to apply it in my outer corners. This one has a little bit of kick up in the pan, so that's why I make sure to tap the excess a little bit before I press it into my eye. Pressing first, then I'm gonna blend it a little bit. And now I'm gonna do the same thing that I did in the beginning. I'm also going to intensify my outer corner with this shade. I'm gonna blend that edge a little bit so it will look a little bit diminished towards the lightness on the center. And now with the same brush that I used to blend the first shade, I'm gonna use to blend this one here. Windshield wiper motions. There. Now I'm going to tight line. I think I'm going to apply some falsies, and then we're going to come back for lips. I apply a little bit more blush. Now I'm going to do exactly as I said. I'm going to tight line. I'm going to curl my lashes, apply mascara, and I think I'm going to put on some falsies, and then we're going to come back to do lips. Eyes are done, and I have already lined my lips. I use the Maybelline New York Color Sensational 45 Plum. And now I'm gonna go for the Goss, the High Shine Gloss. This is in the shade Hibiscus. I got this as a gift for buying products from him. The doe foot applicator is really strange, or not the usual one. I really like how this combo looks. So nice. It is kind of a peachy tone. Let me just swatch that for you. Here it is. It isn't a pink shade. It is more really a peachy tone. Really lovely peachy tone. So sweet, this is it. This is the entire makeup look. I really like how everything turned out. The eyes, I like them a lot. Actually, I like everything except for how my under eye look with that by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. Yeah, it is the by Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. I don't like how my under eye look. They look a little bit, let's just say crepey, more this one than this. At first, I like it a lot. Let me just rephrase that. I don't like this eye. I like this. But in the face, it does a really good job. I don't mind how my complexion looks. What really surprised me, it is how this bronzer from Goss look. It really diminished how my pores look. They really look blurred. I don't know. I don't think that formula claims to do that, but in myself, it really did an awesome job. It really did a number on this area where I applied it. I like how the blush slash eyeshadow looks. And that palette, another thing that I really like is that you could use it as a multifunctional, but the eyes, man, the eyes. That light taupe shade, I love how it looks. And the celestial shade, as he says, really lovely one. Overall, I love how everything turned out, except for this eye here with the by Terry. It can't be the concealer because I have already used it plenty of times with a lot of different powders, and it didn't do this. So I hope you like it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I really appreciate it. And if you want to get notified every time I upload a video, press the notifications bell, and I will see you in the next one.